Hey
Everything
guys, what's up? It's the Canadian Roundtable. Hope you're all having a good night. I'm just here with, I guess, Fred right now. I don't know where Chris is, but maybe he'll show up a little bit later. I sent out. Oh, sorry about that. I got the stream up, but maybe we'll get some other people on. I sent some invites out to a few different people, so we'll see if they hop on a little bit later. But I got a bunch of different things I kind of want to bring up, kind of haphazardly, sporadic. A lot of different videos. I haven't watched this one video that I wanted to go through. It was something about the Facebook moderators, and I was just reading tidbits of it, and it sounds like there's feces smeared all over the place at their work. There's all this harassment. There was a murder, just sounds like a hellish place to work at the same time, but it's just kind of funny. But there's a few other things, but I'm just gonna check out the chat. Hey, Pravada, how's it going, buddy? I sent out that invite today for the YouTube. I was on my phone, and I saw all this stuff, and I was like, invite all these people, and I was like, oh, okay, nice, yeah, better way to contact people. But hey, Boingo Bear. Hey, Andy Loney. Hey, Queen. Hey, Lauren. How's it going? Everybody hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that stuff. But I think I'm going to show one video that I have first, which is just, it's titled, I saw it on Reddit earlier. It's pretty funny. You'll see here, though. But no, this is a hero, it's called. So this is what happens when Antifa... they're wearing, or I guess these are Antifa. They're wearing, clearly, because they're wearing pink, I don't know,
Where's
bandanas and turbas. This is in Canada somewhere. Canadian Pan Man, it's called. But here, I'll show it here. Okay.
Nice. I like the story. If your star is that nice song. God, look at the pigs.
I don't want to. He punched him.
Holy shit, look at the size of that chick.
Do you see that thing? That guy had a multicolored, I don't know, sash thing on, or not a sash, but thing to hold the keys. That was pretty.
Yeah.
I love just the.
Let's replay that. That's.
Okay. The music. I love the music.
I know.
But no, it starts off, he's just chilling, having a smoke. Hey man, he's like, hey dude, what's up? Just having a smoke, and these raiders come in to
Antifa. Lauren Southern.
See this guy with the flag here? They just assault him randomly, and they're like, oh, stop attacking people. It's like, well, hey, you started it, right? Look
at these ugly chicks. Look at it. He's still smoking. He still got his cigarette. And he's taking smoke out.
Smoke in his mouth. That's the best part.
Shit. Look how relaxed he is. He's like, yeah, whatever, bud. Just get out of the way. What a Chad.
They're all just hiding. He's beating everybody with the helmet. Oh, that was great.
Awesome. Where is this, man? I want to know where this is.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be another base stick man. Whatever. We'll find out. He's a fucking criminal or something, too. He's got a really checkered past, probably.
He's probably a math professor. It's just like the way he's so cool, holding his cigarette. He's like, yeah, whatever. Puts the other guy in a reverse chokehold.
That was pretty. Pretty
Pravada said it was in Hamilton.
Yeah, that was in Hamilton. Okay, good.
We need this guy here, man.
Oh God, I love that shit.
I want to make a shirt of this guy, just like that, holding a helmet. If somebody's good enough, make a shirt, and I'll start up a shirt. Like I'll put it on the thing and it said, Chad, where he's just holding he has a cigarette. He's just like taking the helmet.
Yeah. No, that should be a meme. But we're probably gonna get like banned for showing it. Oh, you're promoting violence against this, but they can say,
no, it's a cigarette commercial. No, it's a cigarette commercial. Smoke one of these. And
it's just it's like that NBC TV program where they're like, hey, I'm not for when they're talking about Richard Spencer getting punched, that black guy for NBC, that show, and they're pretty much promoting political violence against Nazis. Is like, well, I think you should actually go out and punch these people, teach them a lesson. So, this is, nobody's advocating anything watching this. We're just laughing at it because, hey, people, it's like watching those videos of women who, go slap a dude and then get like punched out. Like, well, you shouldn't have been doing that. And see, that's what I was going to say too. There's a couple women there. There's that huge fat behemoth woman there. And then there was another girl at the beginning, and then they wear these masks, and then they get hit and punched. They're like, oh, why are you hitting a woman? Oh, like that one girl who got punched by that guy a couple years ago or something. Do you see that one where there was that hippie girl with the dreadlocks and she got punched?
She got clocked.
I made a video about that. It was hilarious. I was like, this is funny. I'm like, that she got what she deserved. If you're
it's protection, right?
Well, if you're in spaces with men, she had her fist up. She was like in the fighting stance. And if you're in that stance in a big crowd, it's like you should run. You should run, little girl. Like don't moldy locks. Yeah, that's the name. Those moldy locks.
The sad part of it is I don't know if you've seen the before pictures before she went feminazi. She was quite pretty, but then that's what feminism does to you. It wants to make everything about your beauty ugly, right? It turns you into a troll, and that's what feminazi lesbos like, right? They like the ugly. That's what defines them.
Yeah, well, that's all they push nowadays is they try to make women uglier and uglier just to make them less and less attractive, right? And it works. You see them, they got green hair, and then they grow their armpit hair out and they dye that green, and they got like piercings all over their face and nose and tattoos and all over their body. Yeah. I think they're trying to make specifically probably like white women less and less attractive. It's all about birth rates. Everything, all of this is just attacking our birth rates. I think a lot of it has to do with that. Like the uglying of women and all this other shit. Like I had this one tweet up from Orwell and Good there, but it fucking. Because I had to restart my computer, although it's right down here. Here, I'll share the screen. Because this guy's got. If you don't follow this guy, I recommend you do, because he's got a really good Twitter account, and he just takes a bunch of clips from whatever and shows it. But you're like Orwell and Good. So follow this guy on Twitter. I recommend it. Gamer who fought ISIS thanks Call of Duty for his combat skills. It's like.
Fuck, such losers, man.
That's awesome though. But like, he's got a bunch of good little takes, but like just from real articles, from Reuters. A video game designer or a drag queen. 9 years old Keegan says he could be both. Right? There's Keanu Reeves. Left, right, bottom right. That's pretty good. But yeah, like I gotta find that one. See, this is, do you feel enriched? See, there's a white guy in the ground.
It's like, it looks like Toronto. Notice how there's never any cops around. Like no one comes out to the aid. No one stops it. Like nobody says, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" Julie Mora says, "I love the Call of Duty. It's training me to fight jihadis."
Yeah, fucked up shit. But there's this made me laugh here. Millennial socialist, survivors of communist regimes.
I wanted to share something with you if you give me a chance.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a video that I got from Chris. So just to let everybody know, Chris doesn't do any videos so far. He's been busy, but he does send me. He's like the little hound, so he searches a lot of material, so he sends it to me. It's a documentary by the BBC, and they're documenting the Uighur crisis, right? It's a crisis, and I don't know. I can't get a whole load of empathy, because it, like, I know people are going to say, oh, not all Muslims, but okay, if 2 or 3 are good and the rest are bad, I'm sorry, I'm just going to generalize, right? That's what we do in science as well. But let me play this. It's really funny. To me, it is. To some others, it might be. But there's a supposed re-education camp in China for Uyghurs, and they really toe on the pity strings. And I don't, because like I said, Muslims in the Philippines, Muslims in Thailand, Sri Lanka, China, and other parts of the world just don't seem to really get along with anybody else. So let me share this. Hopefully it doesn't freeze my... It didn't. It worked before. Okay, so let me know when you see it. Plug here for a second. All right, here I go.
China used to deny that these places exist, but now we're being given a tour. The message: these are schools, not prisons.
他们受到一定的极端思想感染以后，为了就是把自己思想里面的极端思想的感染程度去除。
But the more we ask, have you been convicted of a crime?
我没有犯罪，我只是犯了错。
How often are you able to pray here?
国家法律规定学校公共场所，公共场所不能从事宗教活动。
The more evidence we try to gather of our own, the more questions there are.
So I'm going to forward this a little bit. So it's a re-education camp for Muslim Uyghurs, right? So they go there if they've caused trouble and whatnot, and they basically teach them the language, how to write, how to read. Basically, it is a re-education camp. But I'm sorry, I just don't have any sympathy. But it's their country; they get to do whatever they want. It's just they seem to be very aware of what the issues are, and in that area, this is how they deal with it.
What might that say about the places we're not given access to? With their watchtowers and barbed wire still in place, they look much less like schools. And we're much less welcome.
I don't know why they even make documentaries like this. I don't see the point.
What do you mean?
Well, we're still gonna trade with them and shit. The only way to stop countries from doing stuff like that to some extent is to no longer trade with them, right? So other than that, there's not really much you can do other than going in there and fucking fighting the Chinese, stop doing it. It's like, what about, it's like, was that the BBC or something?
Yeah, it's the BBC.
Yeah, well, what about all the fucking girls being raped by Muslims, you fucking faggots? You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. How can we do anything about Chinese people when there's people here being killed and butchered? All let's not talk about that. Hush, hush. Let's not talk about all the pedophiles and shit the BBC was covering up for. And
Right,
like
exactly.
That, right?
Like, they don't want to talk about that, but here now we're getting a pity story. I'll play a little bit more of it, and then we can talk about it.
Muslims, the Uyghurs, the Kazakhs, and others are being swept
Oops, sorry.
up, it seems, to the mildest of beliefs and behaviors. Rakima Senbei, who now lives in Kazakhstan, spent more than a year in the Chinese camp system just for having WhatsApp on her phone. Only towards the end was she in a facility resembling those we've been shown. Mostly, she was in much tougher camps, including this one. When you see the pictures that China is showing the world of happy Muslims studying hard, dancing even inside these facilities that they call schools, what do you think?
Ондайды өзіміз өткіздік, мен өзім өткіздім басынан сол лагерьде жатқан кезде. Егер қай-қайсының аузыңнан шығатын болса, сендер бұдан да қиын жерге кетесіңдер деп алдын ала келді.
They don't seem very oppressed.
No, they're not.
Oh, and bad things will happen. Hey, you're talking about it. If you're able to talk about it, then it can't be so bad.
Right, exactly. And
China would just fuck you over.
Right. And by the way, the WhatsApp is not, you can't get WhatsApp anywhere in China. It's WeChat. Nobody uses WhatsApp, and they're just using, why are they using WhatsApp? Like, what are they trying to circumvent, right? Maybe they want to have private conversations, that I can understand that. But if you're, I use WeChat freely. I don't have any issues. I'm not worried about, anyone taking me. Fine. I don't live in China, but many of the Chinese nationals use WeChat. That's their app. They pay stuff with it. And it's like their WhatsApp. So why are you using WhatsApp when it's not even available? Right. So what the fuck are these people up to? And maybe they're not up to anything innocently, but they seem to be brazen. And the other thing we got to remember about BBC, they twist a lot of shit, right? A lot of documentaries are always twisted in the favor. So here we are. This is the dichotomy of irony, which is you have a real bad Muslim problem in the UK, and then they go and talk about the Chinese and their business and how they're dealing with it. And, I'm sure we're going to get a documentary about Duarte in the Philippines and how he's dealing with the situation. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I just don't care at all about anything else that happens to other groups of people right now. Not necessarily. I'm not heartless. I'm not like, oh, good. Blah, blah, blah. Or like, if I can help. But it just seems there's no sympathy ever one way. So it's like, what am I supposed to give a shit or something? Like,
well, I'm sorry. I know you have a little bit, you have a little bit more empathy. I just don't. I'm out. I'm completely gassed out. I know.
Just hear what I said.
Yeah, I know, but
I just said I have no sympathy. Right,
but you could understand if it was a different situation, right? You would, but I don't, because I've been like, I have half family.
What's a different situation?
Well, I'm saying if let's say they didn't behave so aberrantly here before, like they are now, right?
Behave so I'd be fine with it.
I don't know. Are you
like behaving okay? I'd be fine with it if they were behaving fine. No, I keep telling everybody I don't give a fuck if immigrants produce less crime and all this shit, I don't want to be replaced.
Okay.
I don't know how much I have to say this to people. I don't want to be replaced. Whether or not these immigrants are way smarter and less violent, I don't care. You know, that they're not my people. Why would I want them to be like? I live in reality, right? And I'm not saying I understand you can't kick people out right now, but no, I don't want. I don't
But
think
we want
I don't know what you mean.
Well, okay, that's fine. Like, I understand now where you're coming from. Like I get a lot of flack to people I talk to that, like what's happening there is really bad. And I don't feel for it because I know
it's bad, but I'm just saying I'm not going to waste my mental thought caring about it because there's so many things going on in my own life, in my own, and to my own people. To white people, we're constantly being demonized. Nothing that happens to us gets taken care, gets any sympathy whatsoever. It gets laughed at. It's karma. So it's like care about other things. It's like, you know what? I don't donate anymore to. I used to donate to fucking like Africa or whatever. Like I got talked into it. I wasn't like, I was just kind of like, whatever. Sure, I can give a little bit of money, but first of all, it's not good because it's just foreign aid. There's so many problems with it, right? You shouldn't do it for that reason. But people also are not grateful at all either. Like there's this girl just recently in the UK. She's this white girl, and she was helping all these African kids. She took a picture with these 2 African kids, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you white people gotta get the fuck out of Africa," and doing all this shit or whatever. And it's like a lot of times the people are there actually doing stuff, actually helping people, but then it just gets like poo-pooed either way. And you're like, why even bother helping these people when you just help your own people? Because even if you go to help those people, you're being racist. Oh, you're being a white savior to go help black people in Africa. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, so there's no winning. So it's like, just help your own people. Just help your own family. Because that's the only people who are going to actually somewhat, give a shit. Other than that, fuck everybody else. Go to hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Like, I mean, we first, and then when we all have a piece of the pie, and if there's any leftovers, we can help.
Right, exactly. If we're in a situation and that you can help, like I'm saying, I'm not heartless. I'm not like somebody's like on the street and they're like, I need food at their start, and I got some up. I'd be like, here you go, something. I don't know, but it's just I'm asked for so much sympathy to be for this group and this group and this group, but like I said, there's never any sympathy for white people or like white South Africans, what's happening to them, etc. It's like, good, apartheid was bad, they deserved it. Ha ha ha. Oh, if you're white and you're poor, there was a study that came out a while ago, and it was saying that liberals, when they go into their studies or liberal studies or whatever, they come out and have less sympathy for poor whites, right? Because they're taught, they have all the privilege and they have all this other stuff. So then they're like, well, how could you be poor? How could you be this? So they have even less sympathy for them, right? They're like, it's like, well, okay, well, fuck everybody else. Like I say, let's just worry about our own people at this point in time. But yeah, I don't know why they're trying to drive up sympathy, the BBC at that point, because it's like, what are they trying to, are they just wasting time or something? Because what are they hoping to achieve with that documentary?
I think what they're trying to do is do a tax grab and say, like, we need to assist these people in China. We need to help these organizations there.
And bring them over.
Yeah.
Maybe import them.
Right. So.
Right. Yeah.
And
that makes sense. That
helps China. It doesn't help us. Whatever BBC does, we do.
Yeah, who knows? That's the thing, right? There's there could be lots of different interests for that, right? They're Muslim, right? They're a bunch of immigrants that are non-white, essentially. It doesn't matter what immigrants you bring in as long as they're non-white, and they're going to be statistically more likely going to vote left more often than not. And that's the whole thing. They're talking about, oh, Russia's infiltrating the vote. Russia is messing with the vote and infiltrating our democracy. But like, these people just continuously import voters each and every year. The majority of our immigrants come from third world countries where they're, predominantly going to vote left. But here I'll share a couple more things here because it kind of has a little bit to do with some of this race stuff and whatnot. But just kind of to show you some of the attitudes of people, that are in Canada, right? So this is here for Defonte. I don't know who the fuck this is. Desmond Cole. I think he might be maybe a reporter or something. But see, this is in Toronto because they want to make their city into a charter city or something. I guess it's something to do with having. Sorry.
What's a charter city?
I don't know. I didn't have time to look into it, but I remember seeing some headlines and it was saying pretty much they'll have more autonomy from the province. I'm pretty sure I haven't really looked too much into it, but
oh good God, I have to move.
But that wasn't necessarily, and that's funny too if that is the case, because it's just like, they're like, Doug Ford is not complying with us. We're going to separate. Right.
Yeah, you're right. Here it is. It's just right from the website. Joss Matlas Empower Toronto panel discussion on charter cities. Let me just go. The panel answered questions. Provincehood for Toronto would require the approval of 7 provinces in the federal government, almost impossible to achieve. The panelists generally agreed that, in the words of former Toronto mayor and Charter City Toronto member John Sewell, oh, that creep, Toronto does not need, I wonder what Sewell's background is. Toronto does not need the oversight of the people of Aurelia. Oh, you fucking asshole.
But yeah, like that's the thing. But the point of this here, though, is like, if you just read the tweet, you seen a lot of folks pointing out how white this gathering is, but nothing about why it's so white. Just think about replacing this with like black. Seen a lot of folks, or Jew. Seen a lot of folks point out how Jewish this gathering is, but nothing about why it's so Jewish. I think it's because educated white Torontonians are desperate for legal solutions that remove their responsibility to fight Doug Ford politically. That's how the left is referred to Doug Ford. They raise it Doug or whatever, right? Just to smear him. But he goes on. He's like, and you'll see it's all about, it's against capitalism, etc. and white people, which is this whole cultural Marxism bullshit, right? It's now, that's how you can tell, right? It's the same socialists from back then. They're just kind of switching it up a little bit. But after Ford won office last year, he immediately moved to interfere in Toronto's election, which was in progress. I couldn't believe how quickly downtown white people organized in large numbers to sit quietly in rooms and hear from lawyers about how to stop Doug. It didn't work, right? So I love it. See, these white people really need to wake the fuck up and read this shit, because it's like these people are not on your fucking side. Like these are all leftist white people, right? But they're like, see how white that is? Oh, these white people like to sit in committee meetings and follow the rules and try to do stuff legally. Watch, you'll see he'll get into it, right? He'll start to say like, oh, we should not do it legally, right? Like, similarly, making Toronto a charter city or calling for amalgamation will not work, but it keeps educated white peeps in their comfort zone. You see, just the dislike this guy has for white people that are apparently on his side, voting for. You can tell, they're going to turn on you the moment that they think that they have the numbers to do so. But it tells them the same system thwarting their wishes will also provide their remedy. Peak white liberal thinking, to be honest. Unfortunately, many Black and other POC organizers and public thinkers are also telling us this system of government can work as long as the right people are in power, so long as they use common sense and kindness to tweak the rules. I don't see it. And they're like, since when are leftists using common sense and kindness to tweak the fucking rules? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Trudeau's an authoritarian. He just passes shit through. Like, there's no partisanship, there's no bipartisanship whatsoever. But many Black, and that's what I don't like. This guy's clearly Black, and he just lumps himself in with Indigenous people, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, all right, we put Indigenous people in residential schools. That's bad stuff, right? But Black people came here voluntarily, so you can just shut the fuck up and go back to your fucking country. I don't want to hear anything about racism, about anything, because you came here voluntarily. You knew what country you're coming to. Shut the fuck up about racism. Honestly, even like that's how I feel about most of it. But you know, Aboriginals, they were already here, so they can kind of complain a little bit. But people who come here voluntarily, in my mind, you know, it's kind of like, just shut up, man. I don't care. I don't care two shits. People can, because, you know, there's way more racism towards white people and shit. And, you know, it doesn't get called out whatsoever. But many Black and Indigenous people continue urging us to reimagine our entire governing systems. And as scary as that may be for peeps, it's the only way forward. Building a legal force field around Toronto won't change the capitalist realities that actually govern our city. So, you know, see, this guy's a socialist. It won't change the capitalist realities that actually govern our cities. And then this cucky white person comes in. I looked at them because I was like, I wonder what their background is, right? And how should they fight Doug politically? Asked by an educated, non-white Torontonian who knows a lot of educated white Torontonians. Okay, well, he's non-white, never mind. Well, first, enough of us have to decide that's actually what we want to do. I think we have to convene and talk about why the legal means aren't working. So, like, what do you, these people, you know, we get shunned or deleted for saying random shit, not even close to this, but they're like, we got to stop using legal means to get things. So what are you suggesting? You know, doing illegal things? And that's an important conversation. It's blue check mark. And that's an important conversation because so many of us clearly want to believe in the system's inherent goodness. You know, they're... Go ahead.
Well, while you were reading that, I was reading on more on the Charter City. This is the arrogance of the shithole that is Toronto, the cesspool of degeneracy. And you know, I can tell you, if you've ever gone to Toronto lately downtown, it smells like a fucking sewer, because it is. It says here, the Toronto region is home to nearly half of the people in the province. 1 in 5 Canadians, more people than all but 2 Canadian provinces. In fact, Toronto's Community Housing Corporation houses more tenants. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why it houses more tenants, because people like my friends who can't afford a fucking house, they were born here, they work here, they pay taxes. One of my other friends, he's like a 5th generation Canadian, right? And he can't afford a fucking home for his newborn and his wife. They're looking. And that's why they're tenants, right? Because all the Chinese can buy up all the fucking properties. More tenants than Prince Edward Island has people. Yet our smallest province has vastly more power and authority over its affairs and its finances than we do at nearly 20 times the size. Great, fucking secede, get away, fuck off. Take your sewer smell and stay there. Let the effluvium fucking choke you fuckers out. Like, honestly, I want to see I want to see North Ontario, and I'll move a little bit more closer to Northern Ontario. Say, nice place. Oh, you're from Toronto? Sorry, we don't allow you fuckers here. Well, why not? You have to pay a toll tax to get into the fucking community. Oh, sorry, you're a Muslim? Oh, you pay now triple the toll tax. You know what I mean? The Toronto region is Ontario's economic engine. Fuck off. No, it's not. It may be the financial engine, but they're in Ontario. There's a flourishing farming community, right? In 2013, it contributed to 330 billion to the country's GDP. An economy larger than 6 smallest provinces of. See, that's what I'm talking about. Toronto's so full of itself, right? They think they're the center of fucking Canada. The city of Toronto proper generated 157 billion, and I dispute these statistics because they're coming from a leftist organization, right? The charter city. Yet a fraction of the taxes generated by wealth comes back to Toronto in government services and investment. In 2005, Toronto gave Ontario and Canada 11 billion more in taxes.
Share your screen there if you're reading it.
Yeah. Sure. Give me a sec. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. Okay, it's not freezing. All right, I'm right here. The Toronto region is Ontario's economic engine. It contributed 330 billion to the country's GDP. So, like, again, center of the universe. The economy larger than 6 of the smallest provinces of Canada combined. The city of Toronto proper generated 157 billion of that 10% of Canada's GDP. Well, you can fuck off. I think the rest of Canada can live without the 10%. We'll be just fucking fine.
Oh, I missed that super chat when I was sharing my screen from Christian Delorme for $5. Thank you for the donation, man. Kyrgyzstan, letting people in Canada using our laws to oppress us. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening to Canada. We just keep letting people in, and then this is democracy, right? One person, one vote. So it's not complicated. We should all. To be pretty obvious, right? We all know how the voting patterns. We all know that what countries people are coming from, and generally what they want to vote for. It's not complicated, but it's just stupid, right? I've heard this from a couple different minority people saying that, like, Canada and America are like the only countries where they let other people come in and tell them what to do. Right. And the same goes for the rest of Europe as well, right? It's all the same. But thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it.
So I say yet only a fraction of the taxes. Okay, so sorry, I already read that. In Toronto, 2005, Toronto gave Ontario and Canada 11 billion more in taxes than it got back in programs, services, and funding. And the city has to beg for every penny. No, it doesn't. It's just charge more taxes. Now, here's the funny part, right? This is a beautiful example of rules in opposition. So they have to beg for every penny. We are the primary magnet for immigration in Canada, welcoming and settling a staggering array of people from every country and culture on the planet. We don't have to do that. Nobody told you had to do that. Say sorry, we're full. Mr. Justine, Miss Justine, send them somewhere else. If you don't fucking like it. We run a transit system that carries 1.7 million people a day. It doesn't move. I've used the TTC several times a while ago, and I couldn't fucking get to anywhere. Like 5 trains, 6 trains goes by, and you can't get on. The tunnels are like, I don't know if you've been to Boston or any of the city subways in the States. They're bad, right? They don't have air conditioning. They're using these like fans from the 50s to keep it cool, and that's what Toronto's doing. And they're calling themselves a modern city because people haven't even been to like Guangzhou, where the fucking subway system's like very advanced. This is pathetic. Our city councilors mediate more development proposals in a year. No, you fucking mafioso dealing with stolen monies from China, building houses for them. Proposals in a year that most Canadian cities see. See, this is, what this is? This whole fucking thing here is just a kind of patting itself on the back, saying that we're better than everybody else. That's all it is. We provide more public housing, health, and welfare services for a large population of the marginal homeless residents. Untrue. Most of them can't even find spots in Toronto. Look up in the paper all the time, even on CBC. They're always reporting that they don't have enough shelters for the homeless, but they do when they have to move the Muslims in.
Most indebted or Ontario sub-nation on the fucking planet, and that's largely due probably because of Toronto.
Yeah. there are just some of the activities and challenges and facts that set Toronto apart from the province in which it lies. You know, these assholes, they don't understand how much they, like, if the northern communities just say fuck it, fuck off, and they don't truck the materials and goods in, they're screwed. You know, Toronto can't live on its own. But I want them to go. Like, well, I'll go down there and I'll sign
forever, right? They'll eventually, these mega cities type things, you know, these multicultural mega cities, they'll all collapse on themselves at one point when it just can't sustain itself anymore.
Yeah, it's exactly how Lawrence Southern and Point Fire say. They spend tax money that does not create wealth, commie mindset, and by forever the feeling that you have ever been.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
like you know, it's
mathematically inevitable.
See, most of the companies, like the big tech companies, work in the outskirts, in the GTA, Hamilton, Pickering, other places, and you know what? They're there for the taxes, the lower taxes. They're not in the core. And a lot of head offices are moving outside of the core of Toronto because it's too fucking expensive. And these idiots think that if they go on their own, they won't have to raise taxes. They're fucking morons.
It's the Pareto principle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what it is essentially, because once all the higher earners start to leave and the higher producers that are propping it up, then and realistically, that's not even how it's working right now, because they've been the whole country's been on debt and fiat currency for such a long time that you know, it's all an illusion, a lot of this wealth that we have, and it can so easily come crashing down. But another donation from Christian Delorme. Thank you for the 25 donation, man. On a lighter note, AJ, give Richer Manitoba a shout out. Great food, hunting, fishing. Cheers, buddy. Oh, thank you, man. So everybody, yeah, go to Richer Manitoba. Like he said, great food, hunting, fish, and fishing. You know, Manitoba, it's not as bad as you all think. We got some beautiful places, good hunting, like he said. Nice little towns, but yeah, go check it out, man. But thanks again for the donation. Appreciate it. Sorry, Fred, if did I cut you off?
No, it's good. We should be calling donations out. It's a proper thing to do, so that's good. Thank you, Christian. But yeah, this is fucking, like, I didn't even know this. They were trying for this. This is all a big joke. You know what Ford represents to these lefties? He's like a Trump, a Donald Trump, and they don't even realize that he's a Trump light. He's more. I know,
right? But it's funny. Like, but that's the thing. Like, to these leftists, Ben Shapiro is a Nazi. You know what I mean? Like he like, we all know these people are neocons. We all know this and that. But to the left, these people are Nazis, right? And like, there's that whole game that's still being played, right? And it's like, you know, we can kind of see through a lot of it, whereas it's kind of like, okay, yeah, all these people are kind of like on the same side essentially, but you know, yeah. But increasingly now, the thing is, one of the reasons why Ben Shapiro is called like a racist and all that stuff is because the Overton window is being pushed to the left constantly. That now just mainstream conservative ideals is becoming taboo, is becoming you know, leading to white supremacy. Eventually, you know, down the road, if we keep going left, people who said build the wall, that will be like a white supremacist chant, right? And all these basic conservatives are like, yeah, build the wall. They'll be like, well, that was all white supremacy or whatever, right? Like, just the direction that we're heading on right now. So, you know, go ahead.
Absolutely. And do you know who the biggest enemy is? Just look at this picture that I'm sharing right now. You could see all of these Marxists, and they are white. This man looks Jewish to me, but maybe not.
No.
But look at all of these white communists.
Oh, there's Stephen Pakin.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. I used to actually say when I was watching CBC, I used to listen to it on the radio on the way to work, and then they've changed CBC Morning, or there was like a talk show. It was kind of good until the half white, the mulatto guy came on, and I forgot his name now. I just remembered and I forgot all of a sudden. But anyways, who cares? Just look at all these white people. That's all I gotta say. Like they're like against everybody else, and they don't realize that these people would become food for everybody else when their numbers swell. But you know,
I'll build your roof soon, Julie. Lay off. Jesus.
what's going on?
I'm saying I'll build her roof soon. Every time. She won't leave me alone.
What's her husband doing? She's married,
I'm
right?
a professional. I want to get paid, man. What are you doing? I want to get paid. Don't cut into my profits here. But I got another video I want to show here.
Yeah.
Kind of has we'll see here. Also, I want to show later I won't show that one yet, but this is from the UK. This is from the UK. This is from this David Vance guy. But I just thought, like, this is what's happened. This is going to happen in Canada. It's already kind of happening, and because it's the same narrative that I see when I saw that video I showed last week. I think was that girl at the Palestinian rally or something, where she's like, "I'm not Canadian because, you know, these are indigenous lands and this and that, right?" But you know, you listen to this girl, and she goes on about, you know, how she's not the English. And I saw a funny meme about this, right? And it showed her face, you know, one left that was like, "I'm not English. England isn't England anymore." And then it showed like John Cleese saying like, "England isn't England," or "London isn't England anymore," or something, right? Like, but like, you know, he got dragged for that or like condemned for that. But this is what people are telling you to your face. But here, I'll play it right here. Pretty ridiculous, you know. That cunt, you stupid bitch. Let's play this.
What is that? A bird's nest on her head?
I think so. Of course, it's gonna be like that when I go there to fucking play it. Okay.
I be English when 1 second they're inviting us here and the next they're telling us we're illegal immigrants. How can I be English when the rest of the country voted leave?
No, don't worry, it'll start out. How can I?
English is a dirty word. That's my reflex. I don't use it. It's not a description that relates to me. I was born in East London, in England. I am a
Londoner.
I like the way the words feel. It makes me feel special. It makes me feel unique. We are an island within this island. We should have our own flag. Because the English one, that doesn't represent me.
See, you know, that doesn't represent me.
It's not something I can be proud of. How can I be when I've got a memory of my dad sitting me down telling me what that flag means to people who look like me? That flag should be a map to my identity, but how can it be? When the white represents the EDL, the National Front, the racism spat at my dad. And when I see those lines of red, I see the blood of my ancestors.
See, you know, that's the thing. This is why multiculturalism does not work, because, you know, we all have a checkered past or whatever. And to be honest, colonization probably helped a lot of the countries that it entered into. But
we got another donation from Christian.
But you know, see, this is the point, right? It's like, man, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. You got another donation.
Yeah, what I was saying is that what do you call it? Is that fucking Jesus Christ, Fredrick? I'll see the donation. We'll have to call it out immediately.
All right,
but like, fuck, I don't know. Whatever I was trying to say. She's a dumb bitch, and yeah, this is the problem with multiculturalism, because you know, we do things in our past, in our history, right? And you know, they're framed as really bad, like colonization. And like I said, there's some benefits to that. There's some bad to it as well. But when you bring all these people together in the country, in this democratic country, then they're going to be like this. Well, you know what? That flag in 1826 took over India and oppressed my people. So why should I respect it? Because blah, 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 blah. Oh, and then the Chinese people, it's like, oh, well, you put us in internment camps or in the World War II or something, or the Japanese, and oh, you did this to us, and oh, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And like, there's a girl, she doesn't respect anything, right? But I'll check the super chat right now. Christian Delorme, get back to your Métis roots, AJ. Love your input, buddy. Cheers.
No, don't do that. I'm not giving you any money.
I'm not Métis.
Disagree. That's multicultural. So yeah, like, I'd say we all pack our bags and just move to all these other places that people are coming here. Oh, we can invite them all and we'll go over there. And when we make things better there, you can't come anymore. Right? The thing is, if they hate us so much, why are you here? If you're going to shit on white people, white supremacy, why are you breathing the same air? Like, why are you drinking from the same water supply? Why are you using the same toilet I just took a shat in? Right. And how far are you going to take it? Right. Like, and to me, it just seems like an inevitable where we will start to be put into internment camps, and we'll be asking for Russian interference at that point. Because, Putin's the only guy that seems to have balls around here. Right. Maybe Bernier too. But, I think Putin's the man. Right. But
Putin?
We'll see. Yeah. Putin.
I don't like Putin. Like, I don't think like, I like some of the stuff he's saying, obviously, maybe some of the rhetoric, but like,
well, if we don't like, I mean,
he's like the richest person in the world because he just like stole a lot of these people's money.
Yeah.
200.
So is Justine. Is Justine any different? At least Putin's not shy about it. He goes, "I stole your money."
I agree. I agree.
You assholes.
I agree. Trudeau is not good, but I mean, like, he didn't steal $200 billion. Not, I'm like saying they're both scum. They're both scummy people. But yeah, like, I like some of the stuff Putin is saying. Like, I can find clips where he's talking about this or that. I'm like, yeah, nice, great. But I don't know. I think I wouldn't necessarily say he's a good leader or whatever, right? But I like Salvini and Italy. He doesn't seem like really bad, right? He's just doing the will of the people, it seems like to me. But I haven't really looked too much into it, right? But let me check out the chat here. Hey, MaidenLiberty, if you want to hop on, let me know. Anybody else? Yeah, if anybody else wants to hop on. I know Trues know you wanted to maybe come on at one point. If you want to come on, you can. It's all good. But Métis are a mixed race, but they love to work hard. And let's see here. AJ loves fascists. Yeah. So what? Real Canadians are like our flag. Okay, let me throw the link in the fucking thing here, though. I'll just throw it in the chat, whatever. That'll be good enough. It's good enough, donkey. It's good enough, donkey. There you go. But what else was I going to show here? That dumb bitch, multiculturalism. I also got another clip from Charlie Kirk.
But you notice how all the time, like, all these people, like, if they were in their own country, they wouldn't be able to say a lot of the shit that they say or demand, right? They wouldn't be able to whine, "Oh, I didn't get my welfare check." Wah. They'd be thrown on the street because India still practices the caste system to this day, right? Nobody fucking bats an eye for that shit in where they live. But they come into this country, they get all the freedoms to speak freely and stuff. And what's the first thing they do? Just shit on the people who built the cities, who provided social systems so they live off of. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, I honestly, it's so hilarious that these people are so goddamn clueless, right? Like, it's they are nothing but a stone, right? You just have to like laugh at it. It's like, excuse me, what did you say? Oh, you're a racist. Okay, right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You have anything else to say? Well, you're just because you're a white supremacist. Okay, your next point. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What's your next point? Yeah, is there anything of pertinence that you have to say? Right, just keep throwing it back at them, and whatever derogatory term they throw you, and just say, "Oh, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that." Do you know what it means? Actually, could you tell me? Could you enlighten me? Right. Because the farther they go down the rabbit hole, they can't, right? They can't justify, like, the thing is this, you can't justify a wrong, because what do? You only make yourself look dumber and more wrong.
Oh, they can in their own deluded brains.
I'm not talking in terms of real fact and reality, right? I mean, I'm not talking in their fucking psychopathic, neurotic tendencies, right?
Yeah, but like in their minds, they create all those fucking random justifications. And it's like, at the end of the day, should you blame the son for the sins of the father? Should you do that? And I think most people would probably say no. Right? Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I agree.
If some Muslim guy comes and stabs your wife, right? Kills her. Now you don't. Now you're single. Great. No, I'm joking. But you wouldn't go kill his son. You know what I mean? For revenge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. But some people may do it. But it's
So
wrong.
BM said to me, "You hide your face. I doubt you have these conversations in real life." Yes, actually, I do. I talk to a lot of people who are afraid to speak out. So,
And your wife's Asian.
Yeah,
Chinese, I mean. I don't know why he's mentioned that. But thank you, Julie, for the donation, though. Peace offering.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, thank you for the donation, Julie. Peace offering, AJ. You're off the hook. No, I'll build your roof, Julie. Don't worry. It's on its way. I'm just ordering the material.
keep donating.
Takes a while to get there. You didn't let me know what color you want. Gray, white, brown. But go ahead, sir. Sorry, Fredrick.
No, I was just going to respond to his your wife is Chinese.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm doing my part to breed them out. Oh.
Yeah, right. Just tell your kids to marry a white person, and then their kids will be like 3/4 white.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like
because he says, because Fredrick always talks about immigrants. Yeah, because I have an issue with them. Do you want more immigrants, BM? Seriously, I don't know what your point is.
I've dated girls of color and still talked about immigration and how I want less immigrants. I've dated immigrants and still talked the same.
Well,
less people in my country. They're like, what? Like, yeah, I do. I'm like, honestly.
The thing is, though, BM, if you like immigrants so much, become one yourself and go to the place that you love, right? Like a lot of these people, they find out, like those two idiot bikers. Remember those morons? There was a couple of other instances too where they were like, "Oh, love is beautiful. Humans are beautiful. We're all equal. We all share the same love." And they went biking to Afghanistan somewhere. The van pulled up. Yeah,
or something, or killed.
We're not, cultures are not equal.
It's not even like I hate immigrants. It's a multiculturalism doesn't fucking work. Look at Toronto. Look at the random shootings that just happened there. I got a couple articles I was going to share about that, which have to do with it. And hey, Toronto, the most multicultural city in Canada. Yay! Police release images of a man wanted for stabbings at Raptors victory parade. 3 men, boys, stabbed during height of massive parade on Monday afternoon. Now, clearly a black guy. Now, what they don't mention in this is his race, right? They're like, he's like 5-something, blah, blah, blah. The man is described as being in his mid-20s with medium build. He was wearing a black sweater, black pants, and black head covering, according to police. So look at this. Okay, clear black guy. Very clear picture. Now you go to this article. 3 men arrested after shooting at Raptors celebration, ID'd by police. Now, very, very sketchy pictures here, you know, but their names kind of let you know. Shaquille Anthony Miller, Abdi Karim Karo, Dino Toussaint, whatever. But one guy that they have not found is, okay, police say they're also looking to identify a person of interest who left the scene of the shooting. That person is described as white, male, 5'9" to 6", with short light brown hair and a heavy build. So why do they mention his race here, but not here? When well, no, the guy's actually black. Like, I guess it's just self-evident or whatever, right? It's just funny, right? It's funny shit. You know, diversity is our strength. A man acquitted of double murder in March faces new charges of attempted murder. And this guy was also at the rally and was trying to, like, I think shot someone, some 19-year-old who was shot on Riverson University campus near Yonge Street. But, you know, this guy was just another, you know, diversity is our strength. Blah, blah, blah. Yay, multiculturalism works, guys. Look at Toronto. Look how fucking... look at all the crime rate. And look at London. It's no longer a majority white city, just like that girl was saying. She doesn't feel London anymore. It's not England anymore. Well, yeah, because the rise in acid attacks, and now you have to, like, blunt knives before you sell them to people. It's fucking ridiculous. Anybody who tells you that multiculturalism doesn't lead to shit is lying to you, is bullshit. And, you know, their eyes are closed or something, you know. Just look at the statistics. You don't need to live in a multicultural country to be able to look at a piece of paper and read the fucking numbers. Oh, look at Seoul, one of the most homogenous countries on the planet. You know what the crime rate is there? Practically nothing, okay? And it's not just homogenous, because you can have a homogenous amount of Somalians and there's going to be a lot of fucking crime, okay? So it does have to do with race. Race matters, culture matters, and that's just the way of the world. And if you don't like it, that fucking sucks. And even with cultures that are not predominantly violent, when you have a bunch of different groups and cultures, like Chinese and white people in the same place, well, they have different things that they want. And they're going to use the state to get those things. And they're going to try to increase their numbers on the other people. And it's just going to be this perpetual fight for power between these groups and shit. So, you know, it's a lot easier to work with your family and people that look like you as opposed to somebody who doesn't even speak your fucking language. You know, this should be common sense, but it really isn't these days, because people are just brainwashed, like, relentlessly. You know, diversity is our strength. It's good. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, white people commit crimes. Do you see all the meth that they're doing? This means that diversity and multiculturalism is great because they have problems. This is juvenile fucking arguments, yeah. But I got a couple more videos I want to show, unless you want to add something to that, Fredrick.
No, I mean, like, when I don't know if you saw Derek last compilation of the gunshots in Toronto, and just going off the list of who was who that was arrested, and you could see none of them were white individuals, right? There were a couple of Muslims. You know, it's basketball. What can you say? Yo, man, what's up? Yeah. So it's the reason white men can't jump, because it's the simplest thing to do. We do, like, a little bit more tactical things like tennis and water polo and you know, putting classical music together and shit like that. So,
well, yeah, right. You know, it's I don't want to disparage any group or whatever and be like, you don't produce anything. You know, lots of when it comes down to it, we're all just freeloaders on the inventions of like a handful of people, you know, at the end of the day, right? Whether they are white, you know, where a lot of them are white or whatever, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to make a cell phone. I don't know I didn't invent the light bulb. I didn't do all these things. Like our group did. Yeah. But you know, that's why I don't want to get too much into that competition, because I just feel like it just leads nowhere, and it just makes people hate each other. And they're like, well, you didn't produce anything. Well, we built this, and you built nothing, and you built. It's like, okay, whatever. We've all been at different levels, but the only time I bring it up often is when, you know, we're being attacked and for doing all these bad things, right? You know, they can collectively judge us for all the bad things that happened to people of color that a few white people did, right? And they can say, well, all white people are bad. All white people need to pay reparations, even though, you know, Fredrick or whatever, you just came here, but you're white. So the virtue of your skin color, you're going to have to fucking pay for it too, right? It's like, you know.
Well, you know, that's when I bring that shit up, right? Because
right. And then you bring that up, right, in response to that, right?
But all I'm saying is that, like, who were all these people downtown in Toronto, right? And who, you know, where did the gunshots happen, and who primarily plays basketball? So what can I say? Like, it's just evident, right?
Right. You know, it's just the fucking way things are, right? And it's only going to get worse in places like Toronto.
Look at the sourness of BM. Wow. Okay. I'll just leave you on band. Look at this. Fredrick could play for the NBA, but he chooses to be a miserable middle-aged man who gets drunks. I like how the grammar is there, and streams for 20 people. Well, that's what I like. Well, you can do it too, man. You know. Right. Be my guest, create a video, and, you know, challenge me, or come on, hop on the Hangouts. You know, let's hear what you have to say.
Right. I sent invites before. You know, never come on. But what is this? What are you saying, Dino? Robert Falcon Kayet is your MP. Amazing stuff. No, he isn't.
Who's he?
He's this native guy that was running for mayor in Winnipeg.
Oh,
so he's not my MP, not in my area. But I prefer my black sing. Oh, you know, I got nothing. Like, some of the best people in my life are black, is what I got to reiterate. Though some of the people I love.
No, I agree with that. Like, I'm, you know, sometimes I'm pissed off, but like I'm saying the same thing. Like, my best friend and, you know, really brother is black, so it's just right. It pisses, and, you know, I'm sure it pisses them off too, right?
Yeah, my niece is half black, right, and native, and white.
Oh boy, the trifecta.
Native, black, and white. You know, I've dated girls all different. You know, I don't have. But it's just the truth. I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk about the truth. I'm going to talk about crime rates. I'm going to talk about the increase of crime rate that happens with the increase of, you know, diversity a lot of the times. And it's not like it's going to bring.
But you know what? I've spoken with my buddy before on this. I said, you folks, the good ones, and you're in the minority, right? Need to start speaking out, because this group is giving your group, like the very few, like, let's say out of like 1% or 2% are good. Like, let's make it out of 10, right? So 20% are bad, the rest are good. Or sorry, the 20% are good and the rest are bad. You need to flip that, right? And what happens is, at the end, right, it's you who suffer, not those guys, right? Because they just this Black Lives Matter and shit. They're not there for the good minorities. They're there who cause a lot of problems for everybody else, right? So he understands it. He knows it.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Like, most people, in my opinion, are good, right? Like, the thing is, even with criminality in different groups, it's still a minority. And that's not necessarily, I don't want to make that the biggest concern with immigration and diversity. Like, it is a problem, and we do talk about it, but it's not like the whole end all be all thing where, because people will be like, they'll show you a stat. Well, look at this. See, it shows that immigrants commit less crime than you people. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So whatever, at the end of the day, I don't want to be replaced with anybody, even if they commit less crime, they make more money than me, and whatever. Because this whole immigration thing isn't a two-way thing. Not that they would even let me in their country or whatever, but because I have the credentials or I want to go to their country. But it's only a one-way thing. It's only in our countries, and yeah, I don't want to be replaced. I don't care about the pensions and all these other things, because all it will lead to is me being a fucking minority in my own country. And whatever people say, oh, you're an immigrant because natives, it's just the dumbest fucking nonsensical argument ever, right? Things are built. You come for the things that are built. Natives didn't build anything. You come for the things that were built here, right? We didn't have slaves. We didn't get the natives to build all our shit. It was built by a bunch of white people. White people built it. So it should be theirs. People like, do they believe in inheritance, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in inheritance, then, which I do, I believe people should be able to inherit things. Then you should believe in the right of a people to have like self-determination within their own country. We believe it with the Jews. We understand it with Israel, right? Speaking of that, like, I was going to show a clip with Charlie Kirk about that Israel thing where he's talking about America and then he's talking about Israel and how, they got like self-determination, or Israel's different. Okay, let's see here. Turn it up a little bit. But, this kind of shows you the whole Charlie Kirk, these types of people in the TP USA. Just like that one girl that came out the other day where she's like, did you see that video? That one girl, she's like, oh, the immigration and building the wall isn't a big deal. We should be talking about education and this and what the Democrats are talking about. Like, she was in the TP USA, and I think she was eventually kicked out. But
Canyon, I love the Rocky Mountains, and I love Boston, I love Chicago. But if all that disappeared and all I had was ideas, and we were on an island, that's America. That's Israel. And that's what people have to realize, that America's just a placeholder for timeless ideas. And if you fall too in love with, the specific place and all this, that's not what it is. Israel will be the exception because there is a holy connection to this land.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a different, America is just a place of ideals, right? It has nothing to, it's not a people. It's not a race, not a group of people. America, Canada would not be the way it is without the people that inhabited it. It's not just, it is ideas. It is the ideas and stuff. But if you replace it with just a whole different group of people, it's not going to be the same. But, it's funny how Israel is different. And, but it has a religious, in the Bible, it says the Israel belongs to the Jews. So, clearly they have every right to, annex Gaza and annex Palestinian land and do all whatever the fuck they want. We can go fight their wars for Israel each and every fucking day. But, I got that. And there's another clip of this priest guy that I thought was really good. He's talking about sacrifice. And I think this is something that people today, I don't think have, like the people in the past did, like in the hundreds of years ago, because it's only past couple hundred years that we're not as supernatural as we once were. Like, we used to really believe in God and the supernatural and that type of stuff. And, you know, sacrifice was a big deal. And like, people would actually sacrifice. Like, I was looking at the Christians, the early Christians, and what they went through in the Roman Empire, right? Under a lot of these different Roman rulers before Constantine came around. And yeah, they were persecuted, killed, a global persecution under multiple Roman leaders that were trying to pretty much take away their humanness, like try to like eradicate a lot of them. But they always stood up to their principles. They never fought back, really, you know, but they were able, they were pacifists, right? That's another thing about Christians too, is that if you were really a Christian to some extent, you would be a pacifist. Now I'm not a Christian, so I'm not a pacifist, but I think that that is, you know, what inspired Constantine to then take on the Christian religion and stuff, right? You know, it could be there's some cynical reasons behind it, but you know, we think retaliation is a good way to react a lot of the times. When a lot of times I think maybe turning the other cheek in some circumstances can be good in the long term of things. You don't really see the benefits of it in the present time. Like, you know, like the Christians, early Christians, like for hundreds of years they were being killed like this, but they stayed true to their religion. Now lots of them all obviously, you know, succumbed to the torture and shit too, and like, you know, renounced their faith, etc. But you know, there's something about dying for what you actually believe in and putting, you know, and this guy kind of talks about it a little bit, and you know, I'll play the clip though.
The credit that is to be given to Thomas the Apostle. Sure, he was a doubter, sure, he was a skeptic, but he had great worth, and he bequeathed to us an excellent lesson, and that lesson was, I'm not going to believe anyone unless he can show me that he loves even to a point of sacrifice. And if Christ brought God's love to this earth, then he's got to show love even to the extent of giving his life. I want therefore to see some scars, some marks of love. And when I can put my finger into his hand and my hand into his side, then I'll not be incredulous. Then I will believe. This is the Christ, the super scar, the one who was wounded out of love for us. And this is the Christ we believe. This is the Christ we preach. This is the Christ we love. Thank you. Bye, and God love you.
Right. So yeah, you know, I'm not Christian, but I just thought that was kind of powerful. I was like, you know,
You're turning.
Well, no, there, you know, like I've always talked about Christianity, right? Is kind of that there's a lot of things in there, or like almost any religion, values, principles, lessons that they've learned over the years, and you know, the power of sacrifice to some extent. I'm not saying be a Muslim and go martyr yourself and for the cause or whatever, right? But like he was saying, he's like, I'm not going to believe you until I see the marks on your hands or whatever, right? Like, I'm not going to, you know, really take you seriously, right? And there's some truth to that, right? You know, there's when people, yeah, there's some truth to, like, yeah, seeing people suffer for their convictions, for what they actually believe, and that does inspire people. You know, it's not necessarily brutality and stuff, and that scares people into line and gets them to maybe comply for some time, but that doesn't inspire people to do great things and to stand for anything, right? And I think, yeah, you know, I think we have lost that whole kind of sacrifice aspect of ourselves, and that we don't. And like I say, I'm not saying don't go be sacrificial and stuff, but you know, do we have any higher ideals anymore? You know, in a sense that we're willing to put our lives on the line for.
I don't, you know, we're slowly dissipating that with all kinds of debauchery and, you know, new age, new social age, mumbo jumbo bullshit.
Right. You know, I don't know. It's just yeah, I think that it's good to revisit some of religion and some of these old teachings and stuff to be like, okay, what are some of the things that they've actually learned, you know, throughout history and whatnot, right? What like the concepts, you know, of forgiveness, of sacrifice, you know, and I think forgiveness is also another thing that people need to think about too, is that, you know, we need to stop the cycle of violence. A lot of the times it's not always good to retaliate, and it makes me think about prison a lot of the times, and prison reform and how we deal with prisoners. And I think about, you know, I'm like, are we doing it correctly, right? Is it the right way? Like, I want to punish people who do bad, right? I think they need to be punished, but, you know, how do you do that correctly, whereas you're not punishing, you know, so you put some people in prison, they come out worse than they were when they first got in there, right? And it's just, you know, it makes you think about, you know, what is the actual correct way to go about things sometimes.
Yeah, it's Steve Lacrosse says Muhammad was white. That's true.
He was.
He didn't like black people.
No, he didn't. He did not like black people, apparently. But let me see this here. I wanted to show this video of the Facebook moderators break their NDAs to expose desperate working conditions.
Yeah, let's watch that. This should be a.
I haven't watched it either, so it's gonna be like kind of this
shits and giggles reactionary
together. But I kind of skipped through it, and I saw some really funny looking characters in it that I was like, okay, I gotta watch this because it just looks funny. But this is you know, bodies and seats. You know, you're reading some of the key findings in the site. It's like Facebook content moderation site in Tampa, Florida, which operated by professional services. First time 3 former Facebook moderators speak out. You know, they talk about, you know, the facilities at Tampa site are often filthy, with workers reporting that the office's only bathroom has repeatedly been found smeared with feces and menstrual blood. Workers have also found pubic hair and fingernails at their desks, along with other bodily waste. Verbal and physical fights at the office are common. So are reports of theft. The Phoenix site has been dealing with infestation of bed bugs for the past 3 months. But, you know, I'll play the video because it's pretty funny. All right.
In 2017, Facebook announced it would expand the number of people it had working on safety and security to 30,000, 15,000 of which would be content moderators. Content moderation is a really difficult job. You have to take Facebook's policies, which can change every day, and then apply them to decide what stays up on Facebook and Instagram and what comes down. A couple of months ago, I was contacted by some moderators who worked for Facebook in Tampa, Florida, through a company.
Wait, was that guy?
Holy shit! Look at this. Is that one person, one man, or half, like one of the conjoined twins?
Wait,
what the fuck?
Sorry. Isn't this that guy who shot one of the Beatles?
He looks like him. It's his twin.
I'm pretty sure that's the guy who shot one of the Beatles. Like that guy. What's his name? Can't remember that Beatle that was shot, and the guy who went and got his autograph. Like, that's him.
God damn, white people need to start working out. Fuck.
These are like a lesbian couple. Like, she's definitely a dyke. Like, you don't have that haircut unless, you know, you're a lesbian.
Why do lesbians have to be so grotesque? Why can't they just stay fit? Like, is it like some pre-described script that they gotta go by? I'm a lesbian, so I'm gonna look like a fucking whale.
Well, usually I don't see this pairing, right? Usually I see this, and then with a slightly thinner version, that's slightly womanlier, right? I don't see this pair as often, so that's kind of interesting.
Whatever. It's fucking gross.
And they told me that they wanted to
Maybe they're just friends.
go on the record. Now, this is a really big deal. Everyone who works for Cognizant signs a lengthy non-disclosure agreement in which they pledge not to talk about the work that they're doing. But the moderators who I met in Florida told me that they wanted to tell their story to the world.
What is he doing with his hands?
So that we all could understand what it's like to do this job day to day and about the long-term mental health consequences of policing the biggest social network in the world.
I don't care about these fucking censorious assholes that keep censoring people. You know, those are definitely the people doing it too. Those fat fucks.
I was ecstatic. I thought I was going to climb the corporate ladder. I thought, you know, this is Facebook. I'm going to be doing some really good stuff.
I thought I was going to be reading Facebook posts all day. So people going, you know, everybody posts their business on Facebook. So I thought I was going to read everybody's stuff and then be able to, you know, decide if it has to stay up or come down.
So you're going to...
I can't distinguish the couch from her. I'm sorry, she's just fucking grotesque. I can't stand like, obese people. I just got like obese jokes and shit. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
She wants to like listen to her. She's like, I just wanted to spy on people essentially.
And then be able to, you know, decide if it has to stay up or reading Facebook posts all day. So people don't know everybody posts their business on Facebook. So I thought I was going to read everybody's stuff and then be able to.
She's a snooty bitch.
You know, decide if it has to stay up or come down.
Of course she is, man. Like fat chicks are like chirping canaries at a mine shaft of freedom. The fucking grotesque. They're not even human anymore. They're subhumans.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. Jesus Christ, Fredrick.
I don't care.
Tell you the job was going to be like.
Basically, they told me that I would be going on to like high profile social media accounts such as like Disney World or like
Look at this goof. He's an incel.
Kind of like some data searching, like seeing what types of posts people react to and they comment to and like to. And
at what point did it become clear to you that you weren't going to be helping businesses on Facebook?
Probably the second or third day of training. And basically we had an outline of what we were doing and none of it was business. It was graphic violence, hate speech, sexual solicitation, sexual exploitation, that kind of stuff.
So they told you, we're going to put you in a queue of content that is dedicated to graphic violence and hate speech.
Yes.
So they probably looked at this guy and be like, okay, he's definitely a leftist. He's going to be cool with all this shit. 100%. You know, but maybe they were wrong. You know, got some people to speak out.
We would get the occasional random thing, but for the most part, it was always graphic violence and hate speech because that's all.
You know, I could tell, like, I don't know, it's maybe it's in the business I'm in, or just like I got this kind of little gift where I can tell by people's mannerisms and like how they move and their facial countenance that this guy probably jerks off to furries. I swear to God, he looks like one of those guys that's is tucked in the corner in his mom's or grandma's basement watching like furries, you know, have sex with each other. Like he looks like one of those guys because you have to be a creep to go and be a creep. You know what I mean?
Well, I told you at the beginning, this is the guy who shot one of the Beatles. So if you watch that movie, did you watch that movie where that guy, you know, he's pretty creepy dude. So yeah, you know, but I don't know. You have a special gift to tell when people are furry fuckers.
I don't know, like he looks like a furry fucker. he screams like it. I'm telling you, he just got, you know, the manners. He's fidgety. His eyes are dotting. He doesn't speak with confidence. His shoulders are sunken in. It's not like a man with confidence. His shoulders are back. It just looks like he's hiding something. He's trying to cave in on himself, like a black hole. Fucking creep. That's who works. No wonder, like they're probably jerking off at their desk, right? Because they got things better to do. Yeah, look at this guy. Like, look at Fredrick. Look what he's talking about.
Leave him alone, man. Hey, I'm starting to feel bad for the guy.
I don't hold back, man. This guy looks like a fag.
I agree.
For this,
Nobody ever asked about my mental health there. Nobody said anything about mental health.
You know what? I work roofing. Nobody's ever asked me about my mental health.
They probably asked. They probably said, "Hey, you need some suntan oil or something."
They're like, "Shut up! Do this! What are you made out of? Sugar? You're like rained on or something?"
Or like some of the kinds of things that you would see that would be really hard for you.
What do? You're sitting on your ass.
I said they make $15 an hour. I think that's too much, man.
Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty good. Fucking, what do you do? You're like, this girl loves her job. Apparently, like she's like, I was gonna get to go. Well, she thought she was gonna go and snoop around on people.
I don't know. Like this guy, this fag isn't generating a lot of sympathy for me for this girl because she seems to be like, getting all giddy, about working at Facebook. She's always smiling. No one's crying. Look at the other one. I can't see where the mouth is. Is it like near the chin or something? It looks like she looks like Peter from Family Guy from the side profile. Well, Chat, tell me I'm wrong.
When people are obese and they're like, I'm poor, I don't have as much sympathy because I'm like, well, put less of your money in food and you'll have more money. And they're like, but people that are poor, they only have access to cheap and bad food. I'm like, that's not true. Like, that's not true. I don't know where you live, but it's cheaper to buy groceries. It's always been cheaper for me, at least, and it's always like, where is it cheaper to buy junk food as opposed to real food? No, go buy a big bag of potatoes, a big bag of this or that, like, instead of all this pre-made.
Oh, dude, I've gone to Costco here, right? So I noticed the shopping habits of, it's embarrassing, right? Because I want white people to be fit and healthy like they used to be, right? Jog, bike. And there's these Chinese, they love Costco and they go there and they load up their carts with fruits and vegetables and shit. And I see this like white fat ass fucking couple, they're just enormous, fucking all processed food, bagels, and like, it's just, Jesus Christ, man. Just change what you put in the cart. Fuck. And it's cheaper. It's bullshit when they tell you, oh, good food. Bullshit. Don't tell me a fucking head of celery is more money than a fucking, some couple of, boxes of Kraft Dinner and Mac, right? Give me a break.
Right. And a lot of it has to do with just quantity as well, right? And lack of activity. Another thing too, they're taking in. Yeah, some people have bad metabolisms, but that's not that bad. Like, come on, man. That's some fat is okay. We are meant to hold some fat, but
that's not fat, man. That's a crossbreeding of a whale and a human somewhere. Like in America, they did a military did an experiment and got Shamu to breed with a human.
All right, let's play the little here.
Animals, mostly animals, abusive animals. I've seen them had a puppy with a rope hanging it, and I've seen.
Yeah, they're called furries.
And they threw fire, and you can hear the pig screaming. I don't want to get emotional. Talk about the animals.
There was one where there was a baby there were twin babies from like Saudi Arabia, and the mother was dropping the baby on the ground. This is when we saw.
That's no surprise.
I saw that video.
And you hear the baby gurgling and trying to breathe. And for days, it infected my mind. I
have a disgusting fucking video that I saw today. And I was thinking about showing it on the stream. And I was like, I don't even know if I should. Because like, I don't think it'd be against anything, maybe. But it was like in India, they're like throwing baby girls, like little baby girls out on the streets. And there's like, you see this little baby just like kind of like it was just horrible. Like, you know, it was saved, luckily, but you just see this little baby like squirming on the ground, like it looks like a brand new baby, you know, and you're like, it's just disgusting, right?
Yeah, it's just like weird stuff. Like, for example, they were going to take me down. I was doing a stream and I was showing the Chinese lack of empathy, and they just run over people. A lot of them are kids, and then nobody gives a shit. Some people just run over the kid twice. Or there was another video where Kate was really upset with me because I said, "You think they treat their pets any better?" This guy threw his pet dog into a pool or something, and they were filming it, and laughing. Well, the dog started drowning, is gasping for air, and it just finally took in a lot of water, and it died. Like this kind of shit. I can understand the trauma of seeing this shit, right? It's not probably an easy job on the mental state, but again, you know.
Definitely right. So we'll watch a bit more because I haven't actually seen it. So, you know, maybe they're not complete like SJWs or whatever, right?
What happened to this baby, because I'd seen it over and over and over again. Luckily, the baby was okay.
Oh, come on, dude. Don't do that.
Sorry. I just think about all the animals all the time.
See, you know, some black people or people of color are watching this right now, and they're like, "Oh, you white people, just all you care about is animals dying." Just kind of like we do care about animals die, but like I'm telling you that this is like a theme among you know, anytime you see white people like caring about animals, they're like, you know, but yeah, he's fucking bawling his eyes out.
And that's what I'm still thinking about, even though I left.
Yeah. Do you remember the first video that you saw?
It was a video in a different language, and it was these two teenagers, and they came across an iguana on the street. And one of the kids grabbed the iguana by the tail, and they started to snatch the iguana onto the ground, and you could just hear the iguana screaming.
Lizard, guys, relax.
And that was one of the first videos I saw in that queue.
Jesus Christ, man! Like that's brutal. Like that, you know, I've seen some fucked up, but like, is that really going to give you PTSD? For fuck's sakes, man! You know, this is the problem. We're not connected to nature anymore. And back in the not long ago, we used to like your mom would go out back and like slaughter a pig to eat it, and like slaughter a chicken, and you know they just cut the head off a chicken or slaughter a pig. I remember my brother Adrian was really hungry one time. He lived in the country. We live in the country, and he just took a knife and killed the pig that we had. Like, just went into there and like killed it, and then like made fucking like whatever. But,
you know, like this guy would probably freak out because I used to have a lot of fish videos, and I once fed my giant arowana, my arapima actually, live mice. Right? You'd buy them and just feed them live mice. Oh, look at the poor little thing swim. Gulp.
Yeah, I don't torture animals, to be honest. I don't like torture animals. I don't like to watch it. I don't get any enjoyment from that. I think people who do that are fucked up. You know, like if they're legitimately like torturing an animal or whatever, but I'm not going to get PTSD from it, man. Like, Jesus Christ. I remember one time when I was younger, when I was a really little kid, my dad hit a deer, and it was like in the back of the truck. And I remember the deer was like kind of half alive. So my dad, I guess all he had was like a skillet knife. And then he went and like stabbed it in the neck. I remember being like a little kid, like 3 or 4, seeing like my dad stab a deer in the neck. And it was like, ah! And then I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then he put it in the back of the truck. And then eventually we thought it was dead. But apparently it got up. And then eventually this other guy that was outside at the time just saw it and like beat it over the head with a shovel. And then like, you know, like took it home. But You know, you see some brutal shit growing up in the country, right?
No, I know. Like I remember when I was visiting my parents' homeland in Croatia. We went on the coast. It's very beautiful there. I think I posted some pictures before. And my uncle decides to kind of pull over, and I see this thing that looks like a fucking dog on a rostil. Right, a rostil is the kind of like a spit. You know, you put the animal in the spit and you keep turning it and roasting it on a barbecue. And I was like, God, I was crying. I was like, what, 6 or 7? I was bawling my eyes out because I thought it was a dog. But that's what lamb looks like when you skin it, and you know, you put it on the barbecue, and it's eyeball. And my uncle, like, he's, you know, my aunt would make like chicken brains and shit, right? Like, you know, you think that the Chinese are just fuck, everybody's just as bad, right? Like we used to eat all parts of the animal. We didn't waste anything. But anyway, my uncle just comes up, pulls out the eyeball, and starts fucking eating it. And I was like, I had nightmares that night because it was just traumatized. He didn't tell me until he pulled the eye out and fucking started chewing on it that it was an actual lamb, because I really thought it was a dog, right? But you know, we're more prone to actually be humane to animals. I even don't like watching cattle. I love beef, you know, I love hamburgers and steaks. I really love steaks. I don't like watching cattle that are meant for food to be, you know, abused, right? Like I see some of those things. It's awful, right? Like, why would you do that to the animal, to abuse it like this? This is not.
Some people are sick, right? And they get like, if I see some people, they get like sick pleasure by like torturing animals, then I'm like, okay, you're probably somebody I don't trust. I wouldn't trust around like my kids or something, right? Because, you know, that doesn't lead to anything good. People that just have no respect for life, right? And you know, I'm all for hunting and all that stuff too, right? But yeah, it's like I don't get pleasure from seeing animals die or anything like that. It's something that you do for the food, for the meat, and also, like I said, it's also for the connection too with nature, because you know, you must kill other life forms to live. You know, that doesn't mean like what you got to do with humans and stuff, but you know, oftentimes one life form has to take another life form's life, and we've kind of like broken off that cycle almost, because the way we get our food now, that we're disconnected with that process. And then now we have like a bunch of people that are pussies who can't even watch Facebook and moderate it, because now they're all getting PTSD.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, like, we really ran away from our roots. Again, in Croatia during the war, I was down there, and the small town, all the young people left and ran away, and there were a couple older people, so they wanted to, look, they were happy that we came, you know, to do whatever. And so I don't know if people or folks, it's not a specific English kind of food, but liver pate. You know, we like liver, and liver pate is like a smooth spread. But I'm used to the more processed kind where it looks like it looks like a butter, but it's liver, right? But there, like it has the Jello chunks in it and shit, and my father loves it like that. And then they just butchered a cow, right? And they did it, you know, like they did it in a humane way, but it hung there, and they just gutted it and shit, and it made fresh liver pate. And I was like, fucking gross. And even I have to say, I'm a little bit of a pussy in that way. Like I'm so used to everything being pre-packed and everything nicely displayed for me, right? But you know, I think that's kind of a thing that we all should be used to, right? And you know, I know that Faye mentioned about chickens and cutting their heads off and them running around. Like my grandmother did that fresh. You know, oh, you want a chicken for dinner time? Sure. It goes in the backyard, chases a couple down.
Well, yeah, I used to see like a deer at my dad's like butchered open and like opened and like that's just kind of like a normal thing.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think white people primarily enjoy the act of you know, I think we're pretty much we all like animals. If we need to eat and stuff, I think we're pretty humane in that respect.
Yeah, I think so. But here, I'll play a bit more of it here.
They kept slamming the iguana onto the ground, and the iguana just kept screaming and screaming. And then
the iguana kept screaming.
And kids were just laughing at the iguana.
Were you able to remove that video from Facebook?
No, since that video had no title and no caption, we were supposed to send it to a different queue for Spanish speaking. But
for what?
I don't think there really was a Spanish speaking queue that was taking care of that.
Spanish.
Killing an animal.
The put it to a Spanish speaking queue, so they're like, but I don't think anything was. So it's funny too, right? Like what they really care about is the hate speech, you know, and censoring the political dissent and whatnot. So, you know, like this video he's talking about, which should be removed, right? Like a video on YouTube, something like smashing an iguana. And he's like, I sent it to the Spanish thing, and I don't think anybody's going to take care of it.
Animal on screen, uploading that to Facebook. At least while you worked there, that was okay.
That was okay. I just think about that. And we're not helping the animals either. We're not even humans. We're not even helping humans. I have seen videos.
See, but that is a problem, right? Like, not even humans. Like, humans were like a second afterthought. To like,
They're choking a toddler to death and giving bloody noses to babies, and it stays, and nobody does anything, and what
about a Muslim in Germany getting hit over the head with a fucking bottle?
Or that white
sorry, not a Muslim, a white guy getting hit by a Muslim.
Oh well, that would be removed because it's promoting hate speech and hate and evil things about Muslims. But this stuff, choking babies and punching babies, so this guy's he's worked there. He's breaking his NDA. He could be like, I don't know, sued for this. And he's saying, yeah, they didn't remove. They don't give a shit about that stuff.
And you have to always look at it. You always see death every single day. You see pain and suffering.
Okay, well,
sorry. Does this guy watch movies? Does he play video games?
Well, I'm just gonna say, yes, that's one thing. Movies and video games, that is one thing. But like, watching actual beheadings and stuff. Like, have you seen I saw a video of those two Swedish girls that were beheaded, and that's pretty fucking brutal, right?
I don't know how you could. Why would you want to watch that? Like, why would you want to? It's gross. Like, I wouldn't even.
I wanted to see it, and it was disgusting, right? It was terrible, and if I had to watch that, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, you're saying that exactly, right? Why would you want to watch that? Well, these people
did they blink?
They have to watch it every day, right? So I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's also, people should not be like so fucking snowflakey, but at the same time, yeah, he's like every day if you're watching like babies getting choked or smashed or punched, you're like, that's like fucked up. That is pretty fucked up, but they don't care about it. They're not removing it. I wonder if that's in their psychological thing though, kind of like the fact that they're not doing anything about it. They just kind of keep it on.
Yeah, maybe these people were actually really thin people. They came out looking like this.
Yeah, they were just like fit and just top.
He was a real chatty. He had like an 8-pack.
Yeah,
and it just makes you angry because they're not doing anything. And the stuff that does get deleted, it winds up back there anyway.
Unless you're Alex Jones, then you can't even be mentioned on Facebook, or that person's account can be removed. You can't even show a picture of Alex Jones. And did you see that thing about Alex Jones recently where they're trying to smear him as a fucking pedophile? They're saying that all the media was reporting on him, like sending, what do you call it, child porn to like these lawyers or something. But they're all misreporting on it. Like it was somebody sent him the emails. But yeah, that's the thing. Alex Jones gets screwed on there, but this stuff is okay. Facebook says it hopes to eventually find and remove more of these videos using artificial intelligence.
They can make robots talking to each other, inventing their own language. But what was that? Google? I could be wrong. I think it was Google.
Right. Yeah.
Test would help because, some people could handle certain things than others. And maybe they won't be affected with PTSD or any anxiety or whatever.
That is true. Like, I'm not going to say that people are all the same, right? I think we can all admit that some people can handle more shit than others, right? And, but yeah, I'm not, but it is interesting, some of the things that they're talking about right now, like how all this stuff is being left up. But we all knew this. We already knew. We've been trying to show this, you know, Antifa accounts that are promoting violence on Facebook, Twitter, all this stuff that are always up. You know, you're trying to report these tweets on Twitter. They're saying we need to like kill all these white people or do this and that, but it just stays up.
Whatever the case may be, that could come from seeing this stuff over and over again.
How did you get through it during the day?
I ate when you look at
There it is. There it is. He had an 8-pack going.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You just want to eat something sweet to make you feel better.
How else did you
poor guy.
With everybody. I had night terrors like almost every night. I was only getting
okay, how old is this guy? Who says night terrors?
like an hour or two of sleep because I was
2 sleeps away from going to the park.
So I was always thinking about the content, the videos, the pictures, the people and the animals that were basically, you know, their whole deaths were broadcast. Like the most cruel things imaginable. Just
but we need to censor gab and these things, right? And minds, which nothing like that is on those sites. But Facebook, Twitter, they're Facebook living murders and mass shootings on Facebook Live.
It's there and it's allowed to be there.
Did you go talk to somebody about your night terrors?
Yes, I did. I went to a mental health facility in Clearwater, and they diagnosed me with PTSD.
PTSD? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little bit overblown.
Well, it's just probably the pharmaceutical agency probably has a lot to do with that too, right? So they can be like, well, here's some drugs. Take these PTSD drugs for your depression or something. Your night terrors.
They also prescribed me some Xanax.
Yeah, see? Here, take some drugs.
Sleep again.
They're going to make you fatter because they're going to fuck with your metabolism and all this shit.
Just knowing that there's this kind of stuff still going on just scares the heck out of me. It's terrifying to know that stuff is real.
But now he's all drugged up, so he doesn't give a fuck. Moderators are judged using an accuracy score, which is a measure of how often their decisions to remove content are judged to be correct based on Facebook's ever-changing policies. If their accuracy score falls below 98%, they can be fired. The Tampa site has the worst accuracy score of any Facebook moderation facility. It has never consistently hit 98%. So, come on, step up your game, Tampa.
They're practicing lean methodology.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little fucking light above them, you know. If they don't hit the mark,
well, I
they get shocked.
Well, we see the issue with Tampa. They're all overweight.
So Facebook has told me they don't have quotas for how many jobs that moderators are supposed to do. How did you feel when you were there?
There's a quota.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, it started where it used to be higher, like 354, was it? And then right by the time we left, they're like, well, we want you to at least do 250 a day. That's a quota to me if you're telling me to do that many jobs.
What is the score?
Oh, the score. You're supposed to be getting a 96 to 98%. But nobody in our training class actually got anywhere close to that. Everybody was in the 80s, including myself.
So the basic idea of the score is that the 15,000 moderators it has around the world should be executing their policies perfectly, and they should be taking down everything that should be taken down and leaving up everything that should be taken up, and they should do that with a 98% degree of accuracy.
That is correct.
but it's not happening in practice because, as you're just saying, the policies are changing how often?
Daily.
How much pressure is there on moderators to keep that score high?
That's probably the main focus there. And every day it's, you got bad quality, you got to send it back, you got to do, like, all the time, you got to do disputes on this. Oh, why is your quality so low? Every day. Every day they're sort of hammering that home that you need to be perfect.
15-minute breaks.
Well, that's standard. That's fucking like what's I don't understand.
I don't take a break at all. I don't take breaks. Like,
well, you can't on the roof. You just piss and shit over the top.
Yeah, like sometimes.
Whatever. Piss on someone's head.
But yeah, you stop for like maybe a little bit, get some water or whatever. But like what? 15-minute breaks, 2 15-minute breaks, a 30-minute lunch break, and a 9-minute wellness time. That's fucking 1 hour and 9 minutes of break a day. Is this all paid?
Yeah, of course. It's no. It's the standard is the 30-minute paid lunch, and the 2 15-minute breaks aren't. Or it's either or, right? 2 50-minute paid and 30 minutes free lunch. It's either or, right?
I don't know how it works in America. Maybe they get paid for that though. Maybe they don't.
Possibly, but usually it's pretty much it's aligned, right? We have Americans that come to our firm and work with us, but yeah, this is standard. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, everybody gets, even in small retail.
That's a lot of fucking time, man. Like, I don't know what these people are talking about. Like, and they don't even give me fucking daycare.
Walk us through like your average day doing this job.
You sat at your desk.
They're not paying for my transgender surgery.
Your headphones, and you worked all day. No one
Blue Raven says 15, 15, 39, 69.
and my liposuction.
If you were upset, no one came to talk to you throughout the day. If you turned around to talk to a friend, you were being...
Holy shit. This is why women should not be in the fucking workforce as well as that other beta dude, because nobody, if you were upset, nobody came to talk to you during the day. Like, what? How, they're just supposed to know you're upset? Take some initiative and go to the fucking boss, you idiot. I don't know, and be like, hey, I'm upset. I don't like the way things are being run here. They're just supposed, hey, see, Denise, you see how angry she looks? Yeah, you should go talk to her. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Being screamed at for not looking at your content and doing your work.
Yes, you're being screamed at for not doing your work, okay?
Say all the time, okay, we have these counselors here.
Stop making me defend Facebook.
Here to help you. But we've got 9 minutes of wellness every day. So I'm supposed to go talk to this counselor about the 500 videos I've looked at today in 9 minutes, and I'm supposed to be okay? It doesn't.
God, it's a job. You could quit. You could do something else. No one's forcing you to do it. You signed up for this. You knew what you were signing up for this. There's a description, a job description when you went in. You probably applied and said, "Okay, fuck off."
These people must have. They remind me of Iraqi, of ex-veterans from Iraq. No, I'm just, they don't complain this much. Like veterans who have been to war, cops who see actual people being like drug addicts every day, murderers every day, a lot of the times, or just fucked up shit every day. Don't complain this much. Like, now they do claim a lot of PTSD, and you get a lot of PTSD cases and stuff like that. But I mean,
when you're seeing your friends, your soldier and mate's brain explode in front of you, and then you get his brain splatter all over you, right? I mean, fuck yeah, I would have PTSD and worse, right?
And
so
nobody talked to me after I saw Jerry got his head blown off.
I had to do my job. Can you believe it? Like, I had to like actually still go on duty.
The higher ups don't really care. They're very nonchalant about the problems that are in there, such as workers having sex in the building, people are drinking alcohol and smoking weed in the parking lot, just a lot of sexual harassment going on from the...
See, just a bunch of leftists in the workplace. That's what happens. Just a bunch of debauchery and violence, sexual assault.
higher ups to the content moderators, and there was a problem of the bathrooms. Some employees thought it was funny to smear feces all over the stalls, and
I find it funny.
Look at that guy's face. Look at his face.
He's like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? What?
I don't know. Is this guy, is he embellishing? Like, he's embellishing. Come on.
Shake his head.
Some employees thought it was
like,
funny.
Right.
Okay, we'll watch it.
Feces all over the stalls and urinate on the floor.
And how many bathrooms are there?
Maybe because they couldn't touch their dicks. They're so fat.
I just love the way the guy's face looks.
I know.
When it's like, some people found it funny to shit on.
The opposite look of mirth.
All over the stalls and urinate on the floor.
And how many bathrooms are there for the 800 employees that work there?
One bathroom. There is one bathroom.
Oh, fuck off. You know how many people we have at work? And there's like 1,000 per bathroom. There's more than one bathroom, right? Like, but come on, there's a bathroom per floor, which not everybody's in the same bathroom. You go to the bathroom, they have like 4 or 5 stalls, right?
Right. Yeah, maybe there must be a couple bathrooms. I don't know.
While you're doing this job?
Well, as I said before, the market was tough. It's tough down here, and you know, I had such difficulties finding a job. I was scared to find another job. And
let me see your CV.
Also, just kind of something weird that the managers would always tell the employees, where it's like, "Oh, if you quit, you're gonna have to go back to call centers," because I guess like that was the only thing that a lot of these people did.
So he's a loser. I'm not saying that call center people are losers, but the thing is that what's your CV, right? And that's pretty much it, right? Call center work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people do call center work, right? So it's just
for $15 an hour.
I was actually really excited for that because in college, all my professors were like, you know, you want to get that good $30,000 starting entry level job.
Absolutely.
He was in college. He went.
What did he take? Women's studies.
You want to get that nice 30,000?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Always
higher.
Were disgusting. Pubic hairs on the desk, boogers on the desk. They never did a fire drill because they said Facebook wouldn't let us off the content to do a fire drill. And one time, Facebook was coming to visit, and the day before, they had every manager painting and cleaning the building so it would look presentable for Facebook. And that just proves that Cognizant knew it was unacceptable for the building to be in this condition. It's like a sweatshop in America. It really is. All they care about is getting that content moved through.
So, like, am I supposed to have some? Is this like a sympathy vid for the workers of Facebook and what they face through, or I don't know, like, or am I supposed to like say, oh, look how Facebook is, and Facebook offers a job. This is the job, and take it or leave it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's nonsense. I don't have any sympathy for these people at the end of the day, and like, yeah, I don't understand the whole point with you know, I see a lot of the left kind of going after Facebook though now too, right? You know, they're releasing more things about them, and you know, they don't like them as much as Twitter or YouTube, right? So I don't know. Facebook is like on their bad side, and I've seen him trying to like comply a lot lately. You know how he's, you know, been trying to be like, "Oh, I'm a good boy now. I'm a good boy. Don't worry." So it's like I don't know. It seems like there's some like internal fighting going on between like a faction of the left or something. It feels like, because they keep going after him and releasing certain kind of hit pieces, right? And not that I care, but it is kind of interesting.
Yeah, James Alsop was talking about Facebook and, you know, how they didn't show up, and, you know, the government wants to see them in there. And, you know, the government, like, it was so stupid. I think not James Alsop, Tim Pool, the moron, you know, Peg, the male version of Peg from Family Guy with the toque on. I don't know if you've watched Family Guy.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he's such a fucking moron. He misses the mark sometimes. I really think, I wonder about his intellect. And he was saying that, oh, you know, can you see the government's trying to control Facebook, and they didn't even, and Facebook didn't even show up. And I'm like, God, you are a fucking moron. Do you understand that that Facebook and Trudeau met way before when the government had asked Facebook to come, and they actually snuffed out, they did send a representative, a Canadian representative. It doesn't work that way. Facebook isn't like just avoiding it. Facebook is a company. They don't have to go. Canada's a nobody. Like, he just totally missed the mark. But I want to share something with you and the crew if you're done with that video. This is Liberty Hangout. So I'm going to let it play, and I have to pull out my headset and put it on speaker. So when you talk, you blast my speakers, but so everybody can hear. I'm going to start it at, or if you want to play it, I'm cool with you playing it too. Are you cool with that?
We'll see if it works on your end, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So
No.
give me
We'll try to end it. Like, how long is the video? We'll try to end it.
It's just a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay.
Liberty Hangouts at a Pride rally. She's just trying to talk to a few people, and this asshole spits on her mic, and another goof says, "You're a white supremacist. Get out of here." And he's like, "What are you talking?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, you're white. You're part of the problem." And she points to another guy, or the guy's friend. She's a girl, and he goes, "Yeah, but she's white." And she's a different kind of white. So watch this. I'll play this for you.
She's Jewish.
She's a gade. Okay, here I go.
Good white. Good white.
Yeah. Okay, here I go.
Treating me like this. I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you shoving me?
I didn't shove you. I just tried to give you some sun. Or try to hide you from the sun. You don't want to get burned in the sun, man.
You're shaking, you're quivering, you look like you're scared that you're in front of me right now. What is it about me that makes you so shaky and scared?
It's hot out, ma'am. It's real hot.
You're not the best representative of a male. That's sad. You need some super male vitality from him. That's not to get in my personal space.
Why can't people come out here?
They can. But why? So we can disagree. You're right. We can film, but why are you shoving me? Okay, we got a very tolerant. I don't understand what exactly you're doing.
So he spits in her mic, man. Like, that's gross. And she later goes to the cop, and the cop doesn't do anything about it.
Right. Well, that's just typical, right? Why would they?
Yeah. We want to play something else here. Hold on. Where is that piece? Just give me a sec. This one, she goes to the cops. Trying to find where she's talking. Oh, I think it's here. Hold on. Oh, here it is.
I'm sorry. I'm racist?
Yeah, you are.
Do you have any proof for that?
You're white. That's all the proof I need.
I'm sorry?
You're white. Bye.
I'm white, so I'm racist?
Bye.
Is she racist?
Probably not.
She's white.
You display your whiteness and you're proud of it.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me. Even your friends have to hold you back.
You display your whiteness.
Yeah, some fucking piece of shit Mexican. So she goes to the cop, right? And she explains, like, she tells him that this person assaulted her property and her, right? Because it's her property. And the cop's like, yeah, whatever. Just talk to this thing. And the person's like, yeah, we don't really care, whatever. So she goes off to the cop. Hold on.
This is my property, and he's putting his biological fluids on it. I don't like that. So what can we do about that?
Where are they at right now?
They're under the umbrella.
Right there. You see that rainbow umbrella? It's a gentleman with the long hair. Yeah. You see the pink sunglasses?
I do.
Speak to her. She's in charge of this event.
Wait, the pink sunglasses. Okay, so we have to talk to the organizer of the event.
She can say she wants to be kicked out.
So if someone spits on my property, they have to give the okay for someone to be removed?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so it's not like against the law to do that to my property, I'm guessing?
If it was on you, yes.
Okay.
Nice tits.
Thank you. For nothing.
So like you can see that they don't care. The law doesn't care, right? And if this was a white person that was doing it to a black person, they'd be all over it. If the roles were reversed and she was a black guy who if it was a black guy, a white guy who spit on a black girl reporter's mic, what do you think would happen?
Right. Well, yeah, you know, these double standards that we see are they're just more and more blatant, right? You know, like what people can get away with and what you can't get away with if you're white. You know, people can say whatever they want about white people, how terrible they are, and you know, essentially advocate violence against them. But you say anything back, then you're a terrible person, right? And you know, they play that game with you. You know, they play that game where they start insulting you, right? And they start insulting you and saying all this racist shit about you, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of single mothers or whatever. You know, you say something about that. Oh, you're a racist. You're this, you're that. Oh, everybody go after this person. They're a racist, right? So, yeah, I'm sick of the double standard, right? You know, if that was a white person did that to a black or native or aboriginal girl or whatever, you know, it wouldn't be the same. It'd be a total different reaction. But you know, we're brainwashed. A lot of people. And
on another thing, have you talked about on your vids yet? I'm not sure. I think I caught all of them. I caught up, but the one take the House of Commons report that they've completed, the taking action to end online hate.
Right. Yeah. I've looked into that a little bit. Right.
Yeah. So let me just share my screen. So they basically, it's online hate is going to be a thing now. Right.
Right, yeah.
Justice Committee recommends prosecuting online hate under human rights law. For background on Section 13 and the Justice Committee's online hate study, read the article from June.
Right.
So they've heard from nearly 6 witnesses. Those are witnesses from Black Lives Matter, Chinese groups, Muslim groups. There was no representation from, let's say, a group of white people or anything. It was just these minorities, right?
It was all like, censor the internet because our fifis are hurting.
Yeah, exactly. And it says here, the report from the Liberal-dominated committee lays out 9 recommendations for members of Parliament to adopt. Most notably is the implementation of a civil remedy to combat online hate. What does that mean?
Yeah, you know, whatever the fuck that means, you know. Yeah, that this whole thing, it's just to censor more shit online, more speech, right?
Right. So it says here,
Section 13, right? They're trying to bring back.
Yep. Recommendation 7 on the report that the Government of Canada develop a working group, compromise the relevant stakeholders to establish a civil remedy. Hold on, gotta move my little kitten here. She's getting all on the way. For those who assert that their human rights have been violated under the Canadian Human Rights Act, irrespective of whether the violation happens online, in person, or in traditional print format, this remedy could take the form of reinstating the former Section 13 of the Canadian Human Rights Act, implementing or provision of analogous to the previous Section 13 within the Canadian Human Rights Act, which accounts for the prevalence of hatred on social media. So it's not just like, it's everything. Like basically the internet. They're gonna fucking monitor the internet. We're gonna create a bunch of fat little incels. They're gonna complain about PTSD because they have to look at everybody's hate speech. This recommendation is particularly timely given in Canada's Democratic Institutions Minister Karina Gould said last week that the government was not adverse to shutting down social media companies who don't comply with the government's expectations when it comes to political content during an election. What does that sound like? China, right?
Yeah, but like that's just a lot of that is bluster, right? Like they would never shut down social media. They would never do that. What they want to be able to do is shut it down temporarily, though. Sometimes, like China and Iran, like when they do, when it comes to sharing information, like the what was that country that did that after that terrorist attack or killed a bunch of Christians, right? They shut down the internet or something, right? So people couldn't share stuff. So maybe something like that. They'll probably want to be able to do that, but they would never be like, oh, well, we're just going to shut you out of our country. Facebook isn't allowed, and they're too powerful in a lot of ways. Like, they are their own little countries now. Not exactly, but they have almost as much power as countries do. Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Like the amount of money that gets thrown at these people, the amount of pandering that gets thrown to these people, because it's such a valuable resource for any government to have control of social media, of Twitter, of the things that the kids are on and whatnot, right? If they can gain that control. But and like you were talking about before, how that, like in Canada, the guy, Zuckerberg was summoned to Canada, right? And he didn't come, right? I think, like you said, he sent some other people. Because, first of all, Canada, we often try to punch above our weight a lot of the times as well, which is okay sometimes. Like we are a small country and we do punch way above our weight considering how big we are. Like we are a G7 country, if you think about it, which is a pretty big deal if you think about the size of our country and like the amount of people here compared to some other nations. And how much like sway that we have in some of the world politics, considering how big we are, but we don't have that much power. We don't have that much say to be like, Facebook, you come here and you fucking listen to us. He'll be like, well, okay, well, you need me more than I need you, to be honest. Like, like they would never shut these companies out of their countries. They'll try to find them and shit, though, right? Try to get money out of them.
Well, like, people here in the chat are talking about shutting the internet down. It's kind of hard to do, and you're going to have a huge backlash. You shut the internet down, you shut businesses down, right? People are going to say, "Well, go fuck yourself," whatever, ISP and stuff. Pay me my money back because I want credits. That's stupid.
I saw a protest somewhere in like China, Hong Kong, or something. There's like, I don't know how many.
2 million. 2 fucking million people.
You know what they did though too? Porn companies shut down their sites on that day, so people would go out and protest. So all the porn companies in like Hong Kong or whatever. I don't know. I don't think the government forced them to do it. I think that maybe they just did it on their own or something. I don't know. And and then they all. But that's funny, right? Isn't that hilarious? It's just something as simple as that. That's how basic human beings are, right? It's like, how do we get people out there to go vote? How do we get them to go do something? Just cut off their porn. Oh, okay.
But to cut off the internet is a massive task, and then you're going to get a lot of backlash from businesses, right? People like ISP providers. You're going to get like mobile providers and you know what? A lot of business operates like your Interac works on, like pizza delivery guys now have Wi-Fi debit machines, right? They take the credit card out of your debit machine. If they lose their Wi-Fi, they lose like maybe 20-30% of their business. You think these morons would do something like that? They'd be fucking stupid too. The other comment I want to address is Klume's comment where they say they would have to identify us to assign an internet fine to us. Actually, the sad fact is, and even though we all try to be anonymous at some degree and protect our privacy, is that we all leave a sort of digital trail, which somewhere down the line, because like the internet is wide, we've been to a lot of websites, so your purchases or whatever, they can track it, right? Like it just takes a little bit more time and effort. I don't think that they probably have that much to invest anyway. They might add another tax to this. They might call it an internet safe platform tax, because I'm sure they would. But when they say like shutting down the internet, go ahead and try it. You'll see, you'll shut down the whole business. Like, or are they like, how are they going to shut partially? Are they going to turn off everybody's like private ISPs? Like, how are they gonna? It's just dumb. It's just really fucking stupid, right? And yeah, like you said, like in 2 million people out on the streets peacefully, I mind you, not like Toronto, went out on the street because they shut down his fucking shut down the internet. Sorry, the porn internet, right?
Right. Yeah. You know, like that was just, I'm sure some people were going to go out anyways, but that probably helped a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with today. You know, we're just so distracted with, where I saw this video by, I don't know if you ever seen this guy called Way of the World.
Yes, I watch him.
He actually watch his latest video is actually really interesting because, you know, he's like, have we become too smart in some way, right, for survival? And he was reading an excerpt from this book that this guy wrote in like the 1920s, and how he pretty much predicted a lot of what would happen right now with civilization. Like the guy's like, you know, he's reading some pages from the book, right? And you know, we like he was saying, he was talking about the country and how the country has been gone from the city man, you know. And I totally know what he was talking about because I grew up in the country, right? And then I moved to the city, and after a while you don't want to move back to the country because you're just you're so used to that city life in some ways that, you know, it's hard to go back to the country where it's simpler in some ways, right? It's kind of like, it's almost impossible to go. It's not impossible, it's difficult. And you know, now, and he was talking about like the destruction of society and how, you know, we're just slowly just, you know, kind of lost my train of thought there, but like, you know, just like, oh yeah, we're becoming too smart. You know, we have all these inventions, these technologies to like distract us. You know, we got crazy video games that are so realistic. You know, we got crazy anime, crazy this, crazy porno that's really realistic. So many things to distract our minds to pay attention from, you know, what's really going on. You know, all the leaders and all the decisions that they're making, most people are not aware of, right? And that's one of the major issues, I think, is that people are just not paying attention, you know? But I think we're going to end it probably in the next couple of minutes. Fred, if you got anything else you want to bring up shortly, bring it up right now, or if you want to shill anything or bring anything up.
No, you know, it's just TCR will be back on Saturday at 9:30 on my channel, and hope to see everybody there. And thank you to everyone to come out. You know, Deploris Unum said, did you get my warning about the fake YouTube email? No, I haven't, but definitely look into it now. I mean, probably there's a lot of fake emails going out. I did get fished at my work, though. Such a fucking idiot, though.
Well, you don't want to be an Alex Jones and get somebody send you some child porn. You know what? I was looking into that case too, and the lawyers, his lawyers are inept, right? They're completely inept, or they were trying to fuck him or something, because they didn't look at his emails at all. Didn't even give it a cursory glance. So they didn't even do their job. They didn't do their due diligence as lawyers. And you know, I was talking to this lawyer person about it, and there's like, yeah, they could be held, they could be brought to the bar and stuff, because to not even go over the emails, if they went to, and then just to hand them in like that, it's like, was his lawyers trying to fuck him or something? Like, Jesus Christ. Lawyers are supposed to go through that and remove the things that are not relevant, or what, you know, etc. You know, you could have a lawyer go through that and do that, right? But yeah, his ones are pretty fucked up. But yeah, you be careful who sends you shit. Don't open everything that people send you. And if people do send you stuff like child porn, call CSIS and the police immediately and report that shit. You know, call them immediately, because, you know, people try to fuck you, you know, try to plant that type of shit on your computer. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, I was a bit of an idiot at work, and they caught me. I have to do training because there was an email. It was just a company testing, right? Us on our thing, and we were IT. But I'm very sensitive to like anything about salary because I'm trying. It's very tough right now for my family. So there's an email that says there's a problem with your salary. I'm like, what? I pressed on it. I was fucking retarded. I should have checked everything, but yeah, I got caught. I failed the phishing test. There was another one today that was sent off to my work email. But the only one thing that I want to add about my work lately is that today we were asked to attend a gay pride celebration. To come in and celebrate diversity. I did not attend, and I got a lot of flack for that. And they're like, "Well, why didn't you come?" And it's supposed to be a team effort. I'm like, "No, I had things to do." I did at this time. I didn't want to troll like I normally do because it was kind of sensitive. There's I think one guy in our department's gay, so I just kept it at the minimum. I said, "No, I was busy. I was in meetings."
Say I'm a Christian.
The other thing is that there was a video that was I'm trying to find that fucking video. There was a video that was being pushed around our company by sorry?
If it's not too long, because I gotta be up at 5 a.m. for work.
Oh, okay. No, I'll just make it short and sweet. I'll show it next time on Saturday. But there was a video being passed around about diversity. It's a video from a censure. I don't know if anybody in the chat's familiar with a censure. They're like one of Canada's biggest consulting firms, and they were like pushing like diversity, and they were saying, "Oh, diversity is really important in the workplace. Make sure it flourishes. This is how we work well together." So like you're getting bombarded. Like I'm getting bombarded in commercials. I don't have cable or anything, but you watch YouTube and they bombard you with that shit in movies, and now they're bombarding you at work. So
right.
Anyways, I'll just end it with that, but I'll show that on Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm just
no worries. It is late. I understand. Yeah.
We're trying to work early to beat the heat, essentially.
Oh yeah, it's getting hot.
Up fucking 5 a.m. to try to get there, so it's not like you're not starting work at 8 or 9 o'clock and it's already boiling fucking hot, right?
Oh, I also want to give an update. In the middle of July, I am heading out to meet Justin Trudeau's uncle for a week. So I'll be like probably off the Wednesday and Saturday. So you can carry it with Chris. But if you want to do the Saturday show for me,
George Soros and Justin Trudeau,
his uncle in Cuba.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, you're going to. Oh, okay. I see.
Taking the family for a vacation. It's a long deserve. I haven't been on vacation for more than 15 years, and it's the first trip for the kiddies to enjoy the nice weather.
That communist hellhole. No, I'm kidding. It's a beautiful place, right?
Well, your girlfriend's from Cuba, right? So
yeah. Well, it's one of the countries that's run probably the best out of all the other, what do you call it, Hispanic countries or whatever. Mm-hmm. It honestly is, just not because necessarily like the socialism or whatever, but it's just the way. Yeah, there's a lot of law and order to some extent, right? I guess. There's not like a bunch of drug addicts like in other places.
No, they push a lot of people through school and stuff. A lot of people are educated.
Yeah, it's not terrible, right? It's there's some good to it or whatever. But either way, guys, thank you for coming. I hope you all had a great time. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Follow me on BitChute, Gab, Minds, all the links are in the description below. Join me on Discord as well, guys. That way, I always share stuff on there. Like I'll share like videos and just random stuff that I see, whatnot, and other people can have discussions in there. So feel free to join. But once again, thanks for coming, guys, and have a great night. Take it easy.